Ever wondered why the biggest companies in the world spend millions to swap their old logos, slogans, and brand identities for something entirely new, while some remain seemingly unchanged for years? In 2009, Pepsi paid over $1 million to change its logo to some weird looking smiley emoji thing, only then to change it back again in 2023 to the tune of millions more. The brand is a business's most priceless and intangible asset, and in this video we're diving into the major reasons why companies rebrand and how this can either skyrocket their success or lead to downfall in today's speedy market. Yo people, I'm Matt Thorne, aka Sketchy Media, and this is The Design of Business. How to build a disruptive brand that impacts the universe. Right now, the drink sector is fizzing with brand refreshes. You've seen the Pepsi one, who recently decided to shake things up by returning back to its original logo, and Fanta, who have decided to drop the orange. So why do companies do this? For many years, Burberry was known for its classic trench coats and iconic plaid pattern. However, in the late 1990s and early 2000s, the brand began to struggle. The Burberry plaid had been widely counterfeited and it was associated with gangwear, which damaged Burberry's luxury image. In 2006, Angela Ahrendts took over as CEO and initiated a significant rebranding effort. They reduced the prominence of the Burberry plaid in all of their products, opting for a minimalist, modern aesthetic. They also expanded their product line to appeal to a younger demographic, introducing more high-end fashion pieces, and they also leveraged digital marketing and social media to reach a global audience. The rebranding effort was a huge success, and Burberry once again is considered a top luxury brand. But what about bouncing back from a crisis or overturning negative reputation? Philip Morris changed its name to the Altria Group in 2003 to break away from its tobacco roots. As its stock lagged in the market and it widened its corporate scope, they acquired new businesses just outside of tobacco. Well, let's be honest, the real reason to get rid of it was because it was a bit of a drag.
That massive oil slick now covering some 600 square miles of the Gulf of Mexico, and it could start reaching the United States coast within hours.
BP also had to do this with the Deep Horizon oil spill of 2010, rebranding to Beyond Petroleum to emphasize its pivot towards renewable energy and regain public trust. Rebranding can also reflect structural realignment or corporate change. Take Google, which restructured under the new umbrella brand called Alphabet, but also Facebook, who rebranded as Meta, but that was driven mainly by a change in vision that we will come on to later. Staying relevant in a changing market is another key reason, and in 2018, Dunkin' Donuts morphed into Dunkin' to reflect its growing focus on coffee and other non-donut related products. This rebranding helped to position Dunkin' as a more versatile and inclusive brand, allowing it to appeal to a wider audience beyond just donut lovers. Competition can be a major driver and trigger a need to rebrand. Burger King did just this in the early 2000s, struggling against its golden arch rivals, McDonald's. In response to falling behind the competition, Burger King undertook a major rebranding initiative. They revived their Have It Your Way slogan to differentiate themselves from McDonald's and emphasize on customer customization. With it, they also changed the logo completely, opting for a new word mark positioned diagonally in the space between the two bun halves. The red text was expanded and written in a fresh, contemporary sans serif typeface with angular, sleek lines to contrast its earlier iterations. The rebrand made it appear brighter and more professional while boosting self-assurance and knowledge. More recently, however, in 2021, Burger King did it again, following suit, rebranding for reason 9 on this list, which is what everyone is doing, simplifying their logo. Burger King actually overturned the previous rebrand, opting to go right back to its retro roots to basically before they rebranded, and you know, just like what Pepsi's doing, they just went back. When a new CEO steps in or takes over the company, they can make big changes that affect the way the company works. When Steve Jobs returned back to Apple in 1997, Apple was performing poorly, and with renewed leadership and a need to turn the company around, he knew that Apple needed a makeover. New leadership or poor performance can also spark a rebrand. As in Apple's case, the rainbow logo was replaced with a sleek silver apple, symbolizing a new era for the tech giant. Attracting a new audience is another common reason to rebrand. KFC rebranded to appeal to a younger demographic, distancing itself from the unhealthy connotations of fried. And Kia, looking to move into a new electric-focused future in a bid to take some market share from cool brands like Tesla, completely overhauled its identity. Kia's rebrand in a bid to take some cool from Tesla, and to be fair, the brand and cars now look pretty cool, but the rebranding job resulted in 30,000 searches for the term KN car. Consumers might have missed the mark there with that brand identity, but I guess the jury's out on KN cars. It's human nature for us to shorten people's names, so many brands are doing just that with theirs. Starbucks was once called Starbucks Coffee. Okay, well, they just took the end off, like Dunkin Donuts, but Hewlett-Packard actually became HP. Federal Express simply became known by its nickname FedEx, and Pan American Airways became Pan Am. And what about PricewaterhouseCoopers? Well, it bowed to the inevitable. PwC it is. There's no ignoring the digital wave that has been reshaping the branding landscape and the blandification of all logos. That is mainly driven by the need to reduce logos down to something visible and iconic on smaller screens. Volkswagen, for example, with a renewed focus on their mobility strategy, unveiled a refreshed, simplified logo and visual identity perfectly tuned for legibility across smaller screens for the digital age. Rebranding can align a brand with a new corporate strategy or vision, or just general change in direction. Facebook did just this by rebranding to Meta to reflect its new vision and focus on the metaverse. It doesn't always work, however. When ConvertKit rebranded to Siva, it marked a pivotal moment in the company's journey, and that didn't quite work. The word Siva was definitely overlooked, facing backlash from cultures due to its religious origins. They later abandoned the brand and went back to ConvertKit.